What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason and Joe here, coming at you with a review today, talking about the new Green Day record called Saviors. It's their 14th studio album. Have never dug into their discography on the channel. That's one we have not done the discography for. It's a band that I'm not a big fan of. I'm on record saying that. The only time I talked about them on the channel to date is when I had Dylan on the Worst Favorite Record podcast, and we discussed their album Trace. Not a highly regarded Green Day record. Or I'm sorry, it's called Trey because Trey cool.
Oh,
Yeah. Very funny joke on their part. The new one's called Saviors, like I said. And yeah, I guess get into it. What did you think of it?
well, I'm a Green Day fan, sort of, but not like a diehard. And I've not followed their discography since it's been a while. 21st Century Breakdown was the last one I really paid attention to. I guess I heard Revolution Radio, but I ignored Uno Dos and Tre and the other one from last year or whatever, Father of All, you know what. And I've never listened to 39 Smooth, their first like split EPs. So I wouldn't say like I'm some Green Day diehard, but I like American Idiot. I thought it was a good album. I like the classics. I like their hits. I think they're all pretty decent as far as players go. I mean, I did a lot of playing of Mike Dirnt's bass lines growing up. So I'm definitely more of a fan than you, but not some, big Green Day head. I did see him in concert once, and they were pretty good. But this album, the 14th, I think it's back with Rob Cavallo. So I think it sounds good. I think it sounds way better than the Blink 182 reunion, which sounded really fake and plastic and auto-tuned to death. This one sounds pretty natural. Billy Joe's vocals are a little higher, they're a little smoother. Doesn't quite have that adnodal quality. It's a little smoother in his old age, I guess. And I think for, let's say, 1/4, or I'll say 3/4 of the album, I think is very good. 1/4 of the album, I think, is some of the worst stuff that they've written. The first four tracks, actually, for whatever reason, they put their four worst songs right at the beginning. American Dream is Killing Me is just American Idiot rehash. Look Mono Brains, kind of American Idiot rehash. Bobby Socks is like this little novelty song where he's singing like a male and a female part, I guess. I'm not really sure what's going on there. And then One Eyed Bastard's the pirate song that steals the Pink melody. And it's really bad. It's just one of the worst things ever done. But then Dilemma kicks in, number 5, and it's almost like they're a completely different band because the songs are much better. There's a little like power pop in it. I think some of the guitar work is the best that they've ever done. It's not pop punk really at this point. It's almost like arena punk, arena pop punk. Corvette Summers, kind of like a fake arena rock song. It's got some cowbell and everything. Father to a Son, with his the third last track. Some good emotional resonance there. The guitars are great. Some extravagance in the guitar lines, almost like Brian May-esque. And there's some harmonized stuff there. And then on Saviors as well, which is another big kind of arena rocker in the style of maybe American Idiot. And some good stuff. 1981, Goodnight Adeline, Coma City. They're all fun, big songs. And it's just a shame that the first four songs are just so lousy. They're just so lame and like trying way too hard. The melodies are just too obvious and the lyrics are too obvious. And that's what like a that's what you'd think like bands coming out around American Idiot would kind of like steal and like try and be like Green Day. Like those are the kind of songs that those bands would make. So second rate Green Day there, but everything else is really good. So I'm gonna go 3.5 stars here. If you deleted the first four tracks just off the face of the earth, an easy 4-star record for me. But a quarter of the album sucks. So I gotta go 3.5, and like a mid 3.5, we'll say.
This is interesting. So I think the ratio of good songs to bad songs is about the opposite for me. I think there's about a quarter of this record that is the best, some of the best stuff I've ever heard by Green Day. And then the rest is, I don't know if any of it's that terrible. The Pink song is pretty terrible, but aside from that, I don't know that anything's that bad. But it's just pretty standard. It's what I expect from Green Day, which is a band that I already am not that high on. So interestingly, though, one of the songs that I think is really good is Bobby Socks. Uh, I like that song. I think it's really cool. I like the production on that song. That song and Dilemma are my two favorite on the record. And they have this slightly different sound than the rest of the record, especially in the vocals. He's got this kind of like slightly screamier voice that I don't know that I've ever heard from Billy Joe before. It really reminds me a lot of Prince Daddy and the Hyena, and especially Turnstile, which I believe Turnstile opened for them on that tour with Fall Out Boy and Weezer. Was that a tour? Am I mixing up multiple tours?
That sounds like a tour that they would go on.
But yeah, I believe Turnstile was the first band out in front of those other headliners, and I hear a good bit of that in a few of these songs, and that's good. I think Green Day kind of needed to find some other rock sound to pursue rather than just beating a dead horse and not really knowing what to do with themselves. And yeah, I think that they feel a little livelier on a couple of these tracks. Yeah, One Eyed Bastard's terrible. If you're gonna copy something, don't copy Pink, and don't copy the worst Pink song where the melody is just like sounds like na 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 na, like some bully picking on someone, na 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 boo boo kind of thing. It's really terrible melody. It's just awful. Other than that, there's a bunch of standard, pretty normal Green Day tunes. Goodnight Adeline, I think, recalls 21 Guns. They do those like big loud stops. Strange Days Are Here to Stay kind of opens with that kind of palm muted chugging guitar stuff, just the way Basket Case does. Father to a Son sees them kind of in that serious ballad mode that they do from time to time. The melody to Fancy Sauce is super basic and irritating, and I hate the phrase fancy sauce. I think it's a very bad song title. Of all the tracks after Dilemma, the two that I kind of dig are Corvette Summer, which isn't the best songwriting, but I think the hooks are a bit stickier than most of the other tunes on the record. There's a nice cowbell groove in the chorus, and I think Susie Chapstick is pretty solid. Nice melody, strong bass line. That one's kind of Weezer-esque in a way, I think. For me, there's like 4 to 5 songs that are good, solid, somewhat impressive, more than I expected from Green Day. And the rest is about what I expected, and One Eyed Bastard is worse. So just 3 stars for me on Saviors.
It's still higher than I expect.
Yeah, it's not a terrible record by any means. And if you're more of a Green Day fan than I am, or at all of a Green Day fan, then I think I would expect most Green Day fans to enjoy this record.
I feel like it's a pretty good comeback compared to, they were like really scraping the bottom of the barrel. I think the perception of them really took a hit over the last couple albums too. So they were like on the verge of becoming just completely irrelevant and just out of sight, out of mind. But I think this will bring them back. I think most critics at least think it's a return to form. It's the best since American Idiot, probably is what you'll hear a lot if you read some reviews of this. So
It's far, far better than American Idiot, as far as I'm concerned.
interesting. Well, I'm going to disagree with that one.
But yeah, I mean, I think they know that about their public perception and the fact that they're going on tour. I believe they're playing Dookie and American Idiot in their entirety on this upcoming tour, which is a real sign of like, we've got to right the ship and
Yeah.
somehow
You got to
make
get our
it
legacy
good.
back. Well, I mean, you still have all these bands kind of sounding like Green Day, and I guess they're like, all right, we're still the originals. We got to get back out there, show these kids what we're about.
Well, let us know what you think of this new record. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let us know in the comments. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.